Oh, hello, my sweet. So won't you come with me? There's oh so much to show in this grim dark distillery. So if you like bullshit or want some hobby tips, this nightmare priest nigh unbinary herald magnificent welcomes you. Hello, my sweets. Good morning. Good morning, Mowgli. Good morning, Possum. What is up, hobby people? Eli, I watched the music video that you're in. You're so young. I am. I was a super baby. Uh, I was such a baby whenever we made that. It's been a long time. That was like 2013, I think. 2013, 14, right around there. So like 11, 12 years ago. It's been a hot minute. But no, yeah. Hope you liked it. I think it's pretty darn good. But hell yeah. No, it was a blast. Most of that was a lot of that was filmed at my house prior to buying it back when we used to just rent it, where Sean and I lived together. And then the rest was filmed out at our friend's place, which is like in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, the grunging. There's the old basement. It's good. It's good. And then all the fancy parts are filmed at my neighbors, my former landlords, which are my buddy Alan's parents. And Lulu, my favorite dog in the world, she was in there. She's great. Does a little bit of dancing. The sliding glass door. That's next door. Yeah, we're not fancy here. Uh, but yeah, all the if it looked like a fancy place and not a basement, um, with the exception of like the dining room. The dining room scene was ours, like back whenever it still wasn't painted and all that stuff. The house looks entirely different now, but I had something I was gonna show you. Oh yeah, confessional. I have the confessional to show. It's pretty dope. Pretty dope. I have a lot of things to show, but I figured we probably don't want to take forever and probably just want to get to wrapping up the old grief boy. So yeah, I'm early today. Welcome, Fune. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to have you. So yeah, here is the confessional for Trench Crusade that Hexbricks recently made, and I'm currently printing out all of the. I need a link to that in this video. Oh, hell yeah! I think it's in the Discord. Um, there's a little piece of metal in there, but yeah, I'm pretty pleased. It looks pretty damn dope. Uh, and then I also printed out a bunker. Let's do a little show and tell real quick. Bunker, confessional. Bunker's pretty darn cool. I'll show off little fun wall things that it can do. This is from Hexbricks, who did the cathedral. So yeah, just regular old bunker. And then if you're wanting to switch things up a bit, I just noticed there's a little escape hatch in there. That's fun. He has a little mustache in one scene. Yes, I do. For a while, I was really big into wearing fake mustaches, um, which is as insane as it sounds, but fun times. There we go. And then we just slap the old roof back on there, and now it's got a smaller wall, or a smaller opening. But yeah, pretty stoked about the little pillbox bunker. And oh no, I broke a little antenna. I'll probably replace that with like a piece of metal. So it normally has small holes. Good morning, Roz. It's normally got a bunch of antennas and stuff on it, but those are finishing printing. I have some of them done. But yeah, this thing's normally just covered in a whole bunch of antennas, microwave dishes, if you will, and whatnot. I guess those aren't microwave dishes; those are just straight up antennas. Yeah, pretty stoked. That's what goes in these little holes on the top. I need to know the name of the video, my guy. Oh, it's they didn't take our beds. They didn't take our beds by Fur and Teeth. And the the opening for anyone who has seen it or anyone who will see it is one of the wildest interviews that I think our local radio station ever had to like do, just because Sean and I are just such weird people. But yeah, the opening part is from an interview that we did with a radio station, and the guy did not get our vibes. There was a little bit of miscommunication. Oh yeah, I was going to show the houses real quick before I get to griefing. Yeah, they didn't take our beds, which was a joke. All of our song titles, and we actually, I think, say that in the video, all of our song titles come from jokes. The joke of that was when Sean and I first moved in together, we were talking about like, oh yeah, someone go get Dark. He's going to be mad he missed. Oh no, Dark. I'm pretty pleased. So it's a little greener than it will be end result wise, but as far as all the moss and stuff, I spent a hot minute this weekend, putting moss onto all of these buildings. And now I'm going in and I'm adding algae and stuff, which is what we're at with this guy. And yeah, it's a little bit darker, a little bit greener than it will be end result wise. I'm going to also, I just use dark slimy green. I'm going to be putting regular, some regular kind of green on there. Let's see, I think this one's close to being dry, and this one's pretty much done. And in the castle, I've been weathering the hell out of the castle. Let me get it out of the light so it's not just being blasted. But pretty much trying to get everything done now so we can play this week. But yeah, that is pretty much what the castle is looking like these days. After putting a bunch of, there we go. After putting a bunch of weathering effects on it, this is still drying. That is pretty much dry for the most part. But just lots of mud, and dried mud, dust, dirt, grime, all that biz. But welcome, Gardner. Good to see you. Hey, I made it. Good morning. New job doesn't let me tune in much. Oh no. Sad. I'm sorry to hear that. But I'm always very happy to have you. Always happy to have all of you. But yeah, no, I'm pretty pleased with how it has turned out. Let me grab the main castle gate. I went back in and started to properly deal with the rust on the door. Again, this is still work in progress. That's getting closer to where the end result is going to be, to where you can still see the metallic, the black metal underneath, but there is going to be rust. Nowhere near like that. Much more in the vein of this area right there. Just lots of rust chipping away. But yeah, there's the overhead view of what this kind of looks like once it's together. There we go. Dang, new jobs, Ted. Yeah, the new jobs. New jobs, man. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased. Pretty pleased with how it looks. Definitely has a very worn in kind of look. Another example of the way that moss is supposed to look. Let me see if I can get a bit closer. There's just a faint hint of green up around these corners where algae and mold, not mold, but algae and moss are starting to take root up in the corners. Um, and with 1490, it's supposed to be like, you know, the end of the world, all the stuff, everything's dying. Um, Science-wise, moss is going to be the very last thing to die. Moss has one of the lowest requirements of any kind of plant. So that will be prevalent. Also, it's on the buildings mainly because very wet, whatnot, Europe. But it would be lower. So as like, you know, the poison rises, you know, there's still going to be vegetation in higher areas. So moss would be more prevalent. That is why it's got moss on the roof. And I'm really debating for not the campaign, but for regular games of 1490, if I want to try to put some kind of magnetic bar on the underside of the roof. Because it's a little bit too inclined of a pitch for models to stand on. So if I put magnets under their bases and then put magnets under here, they should be able to stand on there. Now, whether I want to go through with all that work, I'm not sure. I could also put some kind of metal, but there's a couple different ways that we could go if we were wanting to make sure that everybody could stand on there. Other things to show, I don't think I showed the trebuchet, but I printed out a trebuchet and printed out a ballista. As this still needs the rope. We're going to put rope around here and here, connecting back to where the bolt would be released. But yeah, those are another thing in 1490 that were added. Still need to pin out a cannon. And then I printed out all of the... I'll get samplers, Mowgli? Okay, what is this? Good to see you. Job had us fill out a satisfaction survey and gave us donuts and coffee an hour before we were clocking out today. Ah, that's so sick. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, glad you guys like them. That's nice. We get donuts once in a blue moon. Y'all get samplers. Mowgli? I am the sampler. I'm gluten-free, so moral raising pizza. Parties and donuts don't work on me. Yeah, man. Those days. I remember those days. Satisfaction surveys are fun. Always fun. It only took 2 years of everyone telling blatantly what the problems were for them to be like, I think we might know the problem. For me, at least. Yeah, got my resin printers finally up and running, both of them. So pretty much was just blasting out all kinds of stuff all weekend. I've got all the resource caches from 1490 Doom, like the official model ones. I've got them printed out. I like them a lot. I especially like this one. This guy with his little dead guy. I like that his visor's kind of propped up and you can see his skull underneath it there. He's got a little rat behind him. That's fun. But yeah, these are resource caches. I've been using barrels and crates that are a little bit bigger than these, so that might change some things. The beekeeper, got the beekeeper printed. Still got to give him his little scythe, and then a little corpse full of bees. Everybody loves bees. You get raises for survey bribes? Wait, what? Oof, I imagine your corporal gave no shit about that. I love the survey bribes. Last year I got a $1 raise. That's wild. He had a food truck day. Nothing was gluten-free. Oh, man. Man. The closest thing to being bribed that I've ever had, well, I mean, a couple things. Being bribed, just bluntly. But the most successful bribe that anyone has ever done was like, hey, we're going to listen to what you guys as engineers think and go back and make changes. And it's just like, oh, okay, well, from there, I'm already like, I fuck with you. But then they were like, you guys ever had Jersey Mike's? And I was just like, no. And that was a new day. I don't remember. I'm not proud of the statement I'm about to make because it's like, it is pure trash garbage boy behavior. And I've never claimed to not be a trash. But at work, I had a big kahuna from Jersey Mike's, and I was like, this is one of the best sandwiches I've ever had in my life. It was so good that I went home and I told Kelly about it. And then we ate it again. Like, I ate it again that day. And she also got one. She was like, "This is amazing." And I was like, "Yeah, I know." And then I think like 2 days later, went back. But Monday morning when I went back to work, my buddy Jared was just like, "Man, I'm not gonna lie. I don't mean to sound like basic, but that was one of the best sandwiches I've ever had in my life. I just really want another one." I was like, "Dude, I've already had 2 more since we last spoke." And he was just like, "Holy shit!" And I was like, "Yeah, it's the best sandwich I've ever had." Now I don't know if I'd still say that. It was just it was a lot. We gave them a terrible survey the year before. They were trying really hard to get better surveys. We also got steaks that year. Holy shit. My trader talked about how our last supervisor bribed him with DoorDash Taco Bell for a good survey before they started giving them to everybody. Oh my god. Yeah, that's legit awesome. Like, unfortunately, where I worked, like they were like, "We want you to give us good survey responses, but we don't want to do anything to fix what you're saying the problems are." One last thing before I get to work on grief, just to show. I spent, oh no, spent a hot minute this weekend. Well, these are all just pieces and whatnot, but printing out a million little pouches because those are something that I use for damn near almost all my models, and yeah, whole lot of little pouches. So many pouches, like maybe 100. I don't know how many. I don't know. Who's to say? I did some mining off stream. Possum strat. I'm like, hell yeah. I should organize my random minis this morning. I need to organize better. But oh yeah, also Mad Mule. This guy's fun. This was an apology mini from Your Games for pretty much whenever they launched the Game Found. A lot of people that had previously already like bought the book and like had been supporting them were just like, "Man, I feel like I should get the download free or a discount or something like that." And they pretty much came back and were like, "Yeah, you're right. Hey, so we've updated the pricing of stuff, and also we made this new awful character called the Mad Mule." And I don't know if I can get in as close on his face as possible, but he is wearing a donkey head that the eyes and the mouth are sewn shut. And it's just kind of like stitched to him. Like he's wearing essentially a gas mask made from the head of a donkey. And I love that. Just like, oh boy, the donkey head gas mask. Donkey head gas mask, that's my new noise band. All right, let's finish this sumbitch. Let's do the thing. Gotta put them underneath of there to prop them up. And then I'm gonna start making some green stuff. And some epoxy sculpt. Yeah. Trying to think any other news. I got some white primer. I did not have any white primer, but I think we are going to paint grief with oils. So I really needed to have a white primer for that. That way everything pops better. You read No's review of Grim and Dark yet? I have not. No. Who is No? N-O-E. I'm not familiar with that name. Where? Kelly was telling me that she could not fully understand if people liked it or... Oh, No Hammer in Rust. I have not. Oh, I'm finally allowed to talk about it. I may have watched it early. Oh, nice. Hell yeah. No, I really enjoyed it. By all means, Possum, talk about it. Talk about that shit. I really, really, really enjoyed it. I think, based on what Kelly told me, a lot of people don't fully understand what the goal was, and thought that it was going to be a Warhammer documentary or something along those lines. And I think someone else said, it's like, "Oh, this is great if you have a whole bunch of, disposable income and stuff." And it's just like, the difference is between the people that are doing stuff in that documentary, like, that they love, is it's like whatever interest that you have, like in any money or stuff like that, that you would put towards those interests, they put it solely towards this thing because it's like what they love. Um, it's one of those things. Like most of the people in the 28 community, like that are featured, they do not have multiple hobbies. They have one thing that they love, and they've loved it for decades. Um, so that's how you get into the space of being able to do all that kind of stuff. But also, I can't stress enough, I also went on a tangent about this yesterday with Kelly. I was just like, 3D printing utterly changes the whole game. Being able to print, like I printed, let's see, shit, where did they go? Hi, Bugbear. Printed this entire tray of like really dope miniatures, and it cost me about $2. So there's that. Same thing with like all the 1490 stuff. Like I printed every model from 1490 Doom with all the accessories. I printed an entire plate of miniatures from Distillery and other places that I'm going to convert for 1490 Doom, and I spent less than $6. It's just it all comes down to investment of time, money, that kind of stuff. Different things. Now the printer is expensive, but if you're going to be buying models, it will be way cheaper in the long run, as long as you have a place to use a printer. Man, I fucked up. I should have put these in a much smaller little mason jar. So I'll remember that next time. I tell you what. I think it didn't know its audience. Gist was, this is poorly done, doesn't have a point, and seems to be an ad for $14.90. I need to fix my basement so I can make a resin closure. Hell yeah. I'm wondering if I can get my wife to sit through it. I watched it with Anna, and if I didn't explain who anyone was, she wouldn't have any idea. I get that. And I think there's definitely I think the whole, as far as the audience is the 28 community, like almost entirely. I did not, it's hard to, because I don't like any kind of pandering or anything like that. As far as the 1490 ad, I did not think too much about that, just because it really was it honestly came across as like a love letter to the 28 community, and just them. I think it's not, if you are only into Warhammer, or only into certain aspects of Grimdark, I don't think it will resonate as hard. And most of the parts of John Heater, I'm sorry, I'm lost. What is the Grimdark Wyvern? It's a documentary, Mowgli documentary. Yes, yeah, so it's a documentary. I think a lot of my hobby gifts are ick. Makes me sad. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. No, I think the parts with, it felt like a movie for the 28 community, but that's the case. Why was Heater there? If they cut out all his parts, they could have kept more of the interviews. And I agree with that. I think that Heater was there to try and act as someone that does not know anything about it, because he does not. And he was there specifically because he is friends with, I believe, Cody and Eric, who produced it. And that's the, I'm not gonna say like, oh yeah, it doesn't seem like, they were showing off their game for sure, but I don't think was even remotely the reason that, like, you know, it was made. I think that I don't know anyone else that would have been able to give probably as broad of a look into the 28 community and into the idea of Grimdark, as an art style, because at least in our community, because I did not know everybody that was in there. As far as, you know, I'm not going to remember her name off the top of my head, but it was Anna something Spark or Smith, Spark. I don't remember her name. I'm so sorry about that. And then the same guy that did the Dark Tide soundtrack. And I really enjoyed them being included in that because I would not have even thought about that, but they're absolutely as much a part of it as other people. They just do a different form of media. And that's, I was impressed because I think they did a very good overall, what is grimdark? But it was not entirely focused on just one aspect of grimdark. I was more of a rock star when we met. I got sober when we had kids. It happens. It happens. She doesn't feel open to the hobby. Yeah, no. So she's not a crafter at all, Governor? Not really. He was the everyman, but if the goal was to showcase the community to normal hobbyists, they should have given more of an introduction to their guests and why they were included. Yeah, yeah. Welcome back, Fune. So we are discussing the Grim and the Dark, a documentary about grim dark art. And pretty much the origin of the term grimdark and where all that comes from. And I think with 1490, they were trying to make a game that came with a vibe that encapsulates. I don't know. All of it read very much to me, and I might be looking too much into it because I know Cody and Eric. It just came off as a love letter. Good point. True from Noah's review was they didn't show enough live capture of models from the event. Oh, well, I entirely agree with that. I would have loved, but that's the thing is like the only complaints that I had would be remove John Heater and just put in everything else that they filmed because there was a lot of filming going on at, I don't know where No was, if he was at, I don't believe that he was at the Visterian event, but that's the very beginning is the Visterian event where he walks in, but that was actually the last part that they filmed. And whenever you see everybody walking around laughing and goofing off in the background, you can see the old Johnny Boy and Modern Synthesis Nick. Also, and I hated Heater and felt like he was being an asshole. Yeah, I got to say about that. When we watched it, no, it's French. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Now, okay, so if he's talking about the event, like there's two different events. There's the 1490 one that they do, and then there's also the Visterian one at the very beginning. The amount of people that were at the Visterian event that, like, man, I would have rather have heard anything they had to say than John Heater. Oof, it'd be high. Also, I'm very, very glad that I was not there for his fart joke because it's just like, man, I don't think I would have gotten along very well. I can come out a little hot, a lot of hot. I can come out a lot of hot. But his conversation with Jimmy, I was just like, yeah, I don't know about that. I loved all the interviews that they did do, but I would have loved more of them and less of John. Just not enough models in Hobby Showcase. Yeah. No, they did not have any pictures of the awful demons that I made. And they took lots of pictures. Like there's a whole day that I was pretty much in the back painting, and they came in and took a bunch of pictures, recorded some video of me painting on the Paramore and getting it ready and whatnot, because I was still like in the back of the event for the most of the time trying to get them as close to being ready to be played, because I threw all of those together so fast. Okay. But no, I think no, it's French. I don't think he's in it. Picks up model. Can I touch this? Yes. That I hated that so much. It made my whole body go inside of itself, and I was just like, I think I probably would have left that part out because then it kind of gives people the impression that they can go in and be like, oh, hey, can I pick this up? And it's just like, please don't do that. And a lot of people are like, yeah, by all means, but if you're going to, pick it up by the base also. There is a proper picking up technique, and I will display it right now for anyone that is like, hey, if you're ever in an event and you're like, I really would like to take a peek at this model, you're like, hey, can I pick that up? And they're like, sure. You would pick it up by the base, not by the model, especially if you don't have gloves on, because your oils on your fingers are going to get on that miniature, and depending on how it's finished, it might impact it. But yeah, how is the dock being distroed? Maybe I can throw a viewing party for the local club. I'm not sure. I know it's on their website, but as far as other than that, I'd have to talk to Cody and them. I'm lucky that my Jeff is really into mini models. Just need to get her into Warhammer with me. Hell yeah! No, I love working on models with Kelly and playing games with Kelly. She is a big fan of 1490 Doom. She pretty much once you're just like, yeah, you can play a brute who has a big log that he just hits people with, and you can pick people up and throw them off the castle. She's just like, I'm in. But yeah, Kelly also, it's very funny when people talk to Kelly and they're like, oh, you know about Warhammer? And Martin Gorsling, so what is he making? So this is Grief. It is a very, very, very large demon. Very large. Slightly larger miniature for scale. Wham. Oh, hey there, Grief. Today we are hopefully going to be finishing this guy up. I'm just going to be sculpting in around the eyelids and the gums, trying to get the things on the awful monsters on the base finished. I think she will like Tyranids. I know she's a hardcore Zerg player. Oh, well then, yeah. If she likes Zerg, Tyranids are pretty much the right choice. Also, Tyranids are great. I love Tyranids. They were my first intro into Warhammer. I watched it on Vimeo, but I know it's a digital download for $12, I think. Gotcha. No, I'll have to look and see what their plans are for distribution and whatnot. I am sorry to hear that, Gardner. Oh, Kelly loves games. She's the one who introduced me to BioShock. I had never played BioShock but it was her favorite game. So one of the first things when we first started dating was me playing through that, and then of course Infinite, and then I went back and played 2. But we both loved Dead Space. She grew up playing Silent Hill. I grew up playing Resident Evil. Just I can't stress enough. You all know me. I treated meeting my wife the same way I treated meeting the guys who made Trench Crusade, with so much apprehension that I thought that this was like a weird, like, not catfishing, but like, there's no way that somebody has so much in common with me. I don't trust it. It just seems suspicious. But eventually, hey, I got out of that. Turns out, just real cool. So I put a ring on it, I suppose, as they say. What you doing, Greeblin? Printing antennas? Chill. Alrighty, let's do the thing. Hey, teddy bear, what are you doing? Just laying in the floor in the rug. Such a good boy. Oh, one last thing to show off before I get into the thing. Went to my friendly local game store, and they got patches now, so I got a new patch for my battle vest. Battle vest. Where's the poker? You know I'm gonna need my poker. There it is. Okay. Dog, if you went up to her and was like, so Nazis? Hell yeah. Oh yeah, no, I would. I handled it the same way I handled Trench Crusade. So I just went up to her and I was like, you guys fuck with Nazis? She was like, what are you talking about? For those of you who don't know, Trench Crusade pretty much came out when I was in absolute hyper hermit mode, only working on the demons for the Visterian event, like a crazy person. So when I heard about it, I was like, oh, that sounds sick as hell. So I went to go look, and it was like right at the very beginning when there was a whole bunch of super like Nazi shit going on in the Discord, because a lot of people misunderstood what the game was about. And I was like, oh, fuck this. So I left. And then apparently after that, there was a whole nuking of the Discord, and like the guys from Trench Crusade absolutely fixed that. They're like, yeah, no, that's not what we're about, and those kinds of people are not welcome here. We, are not a misogynistic, Nazi-esque company and never will be. So, I was a psychopath and just went up to the people who invented the game at Adepticon and started up a very intense conversation with them, because that's kind of what I like to do sometimes. But at the end of the day, it's just like I can't roll with that if that's the case. And if you make something that is just like, man, it seems like somebody made a game for me. It's World War One, lots of fucked up demons. Yeah, I'm in. That sounds too good to be true. And also, the art director is a guy whose art I've been following forever, and the rules were made by a guy who made Mordheim. It just, all that's just too suspicious to me. So I was just like, there's no way it can be that. Turns out it was. It's just, on first look, I thought it was something else. But I had other stuff going on. I did not have the time to really invest into looking into it at the time. And also, I may have ranted about it on stream, or I was very angry about it initially, due to not looking into it and misconceptions on my part. You're good. My internet isn't bugging. Oh man, I remember seeing the tweet saying 40K is woke, Trench Crusade isn't. That started the whole train. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't even know where to begin on that, because it's just like it's such a fundamental misunderstanding of the entire setting. Like if anything, Trench Crusade is like far more woke. It is just satire to the extreme, but like really, really, really metal satire. Like the most metal. There's a Metachrist. There's multiple Metachrists. Not very woke. I remember seeing the thumbnails from Arch and the falling backlash to being shit-canned thumbnails. Ugly YouTube blocks links. Oh no! In Discord, I can send it there. I put it in Discord. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Man, I've got some Japanese pop stuck in my head. And just listen to a bunch of inflow while I've been painting. Which, if you're in the mood for some J-pop, might I recommend Inflow? They're very dope. Specifically the album Kyo. If I did not already recommend them last time we were talking about music. I remember recommending Toe, but I do not remember if I said Inflow. Very different bands. One is a Japanese pop rap group, and the other is math rock jazz. But boy, Toe. I love some Toe. Love some Toe. Okay, so that's cool. Semi's Russian synth pop myself. Hell yeah, hell yeah. There's nothing here though. I just joined the Discord server. Yay, welcome, Fune. Welcome. Still trying to get the Discord up and hopping. Again, it's just trying to decide where to put the time. I could either put it into there, or I could make sure I'm trying to get as much done as I can so I can start showcasing 1490 Doom, so then we can move on to other games. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling very good about the progress that I've gotten done. especially the past week. I cannot stress enough, printing out a shit ton of parts and stuff will save me so much work from having to be like, I think I've got some pouches, and digging through millions of little bits trying to find the pouches. Instead now I'm like, I've got pouches, and there they are, I just put them on. Lots of time saved. Lots and lots of felonies. Watched Talk to Me again last night. Have not watched that since it came out. Again, I really would recommend that one. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Very dark. Some pretty gnarly parts. That's looking good. Yeah, there we go. Just kind of show what I sculpted in there. Pretty much just connecting these bones to that piece of wood. Trying to make it look like it's all merged. Yeah. Okay. Basic brush. Welcome. Just printed 4 Saturn plates of epic basing thorns and ivy, so I know the feeling. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Basing thorns. That's probably rad. That's some rad. Fool. Should have foreseen this issue and sorted it all from the kit into distinct bags. Yeah. Yeah. I get that. I have all of my bits organized, kind of, but there's just so many bits. I got judged so hard for liking Weezer, lol. Oh, Weezer's rad, dude. Well, I love the Blue album. It's amazing. It's a really good album. Might be a perfect album. And after that, my liking of Weezer is very hit and miss. It's pretty much not on the Blue or the Green album. I probably am not a fan, but I do enjoy. When Weezer first started popping up when I was in high school, I think it was around the Blue album time. And I really enjoyed it. Also, man, the guitar tone. I'm a sucker for some big old orange amps. I also am really, really stoked when people are like, yeah, we went to college to go do blank, 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 but instead we just want to be in a band. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. They came out slightly wrong. Okay. I mean, they are basic, but if I recall, weren't they also the favorite band of Vince up alongside for a while? Yes. Oh, can you make the stream a bit louder? I can't really hear it. Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. Is that better? That's probably better, right? I'm not clipping, am I? Almost. Yeah, there we go. I think that should be good. The kooks and the strokes, if you like UK. The kooks. Yeah, the kooks. She wants to go to the seaside. If that's the kooks, right? I'm not trying to say that everybody wants to go. I fell in love with the seaside. Kelly introduced me to them. Well, now that song's going to be stuck in my head. Kooks taking pictures of you is my favorite, but yes. Okay, cool. I've only heard that album. Something fell off my desk. Nobody will ever know what it was, especially not me. Let's see. Teeth. Man, grief. We really gotta figure out a way to get you a little bit closer so people can see what I'm sculpting, but I think people can still see. Yeah. Every now and then I'm just like, I really need some just British pop. And the kooks are typically it. I think I've recommended Tellison already, but if you've not checked out Tellison, I'm a big fan. The album Hope Fading Nightly is very solid. It's a very interesting album. It's pretty much the album that it's a spite album, I feel like. Almost of just the state of the music industry and the dependence on so many factors to be successful, despite being told that you'll be successful. It's definitely worth listening to. Taking pictures of you as the light came through. You were running away and you asked me for a place to stay. Do you remember me? Take pictures. Hell yeah. It's just the type of music online teenage boy listens to a lot, and they tend to have very extreme opinions. And that is true. That is very true. Very opinionated teenage boys. I get it. At one point I was one. Probably still am very opinionated. I guess, yeah, no, I am. I'm very opinionated. I don't really feel the need to share my opinions often, though, outside of the stream. Because I'm just like, I don't think people really want to know what I think. I'm not a yes man. The term would typically be, I think, naysayer. Not out of like pessimism, but out of like brutal honesty and realism. It's typically the vibe. What the hell? Oh, there it is. I was like, where the hell did that green stuff go? I'm really looking forward to painting this horrible, horrible monster. It's going to be very fun. Hopefully I can get the sculpting on him done today, and we can get him primed. Can't be all like Roz and just listen to Flogging Molly during their opinionated teenage years. That also is an option. I think, yeah, I pretty much, after listening to a lot of Brand New and Modest Mouse, I pretty much was just like, all right, converge. And I just listened to a lot of grindcore and hardcore and metal. Still love Converge. So good. Smashing Pumpkins. I like the Smashing Pumpkins, but I've not listened to them too much. Truthfully, I know I could absolutely be like, oh yeah, that's a Smashing Pumpkins, but I don't think I've ever sat down and listened to an entire Smashing Pumpkins album. I also know that apparently Billy Corgan is like not a very pleasant person to just interact with, but that could be said about most people who are like, ah, I want to make something and I want it to be made exactly this way. So then it becomes a very almost dictatorship art wise, which is shitty and not shitty depending on what the goal is. Where the hell is that coming out of? Looks like over there. So that's where the little mouth's gonna be. Boop, boop, boop. What's up with the Irish? Found it in a Goodwill. Okay. I've got Irish. Got melancholy in my case behind me. Hell yeah, for real. Found it at a Goodwill. Big old scratch on the day side though. What's up with the Irish? Is Billy Corgan Irish? I know very little about them as far as people, outside of just, I know a lot of jokes, or Billy Corgan is not a musician that people like to make music with typically, so he has to constantly find new members to be in his band. Oh, and of course AFI. I listen to a fuck ton of AFI. Sing the Sorrow is such a fucking good album. So December Underground's great too. But I think Sing the Sorrow is the best, personally. Hobby knife. Gotta get in that little Kravitz. Jerry Cinnamon. I have not. I think it was a response to American Irish punk. I think I haven't met a lot of Irish people, but the one I have are usually very friendly. Oh. Yeah, we have not. We really wanted to go while we were on our honeymoon in England. We wanted to go to Ireland, but we just did not have the time. Maybe next time. I love Guinness. Not a big beer guy. Guinness is my favorite. That is a key component to Fern Teeth, was not eating all day, going to whatever bar we were playing, and getting two, like, of those Guinness pint cans, and then pretty much just getting really intoxicated and having to remember our entire set through muscle memory alone. That was a key component. And by that I mean I unintentionally did that numerous times. It kind of just became a thing. The old 2-beer drunk. I used to be very big into beer, like brewing it and whatnot. Did a bit of home brewing. Made some really good ones. But it's just, as most things, eventually I'm like, I need to put my time towards something that I really enjoy, not just am enjoying currently. Yeah, got really big into craft brewing for a while, and craft beer. I enjoy the science of it so much. Just there's so much to learn. Nowadays, I do not drink much beer. And typically when I'm doing like, oh God, I remember why I don't drink beer. Jerry Cinnamon. I've not heard of Jerry Cinnamon. Sometimes it's a nice song. Same outside some sweet stouts I've had, but can never remember the names of. I don't like the way it makes me feel. Yeah, that's the thing, is like, I can tell pretty much when I've drank almost the entire day, like after I have. I'm just kind of like in a funk. It is just not a good way for me to relax. I guess it's because it's a downer. Or so they say. So they tell me. Now, there are some beers that I'm just like, okay, well. And again, it's just like everything in moderation. There are some that I'm like, holy shit, this is rad as hell. I don't think I have any of like the fancy Rheingeists, but I'll go check. I go back and forth on this. I enjoy Rheingeist. I don't like I don't like the corporate aspect of it at all, but I like their beer a lot. Truth is pretty much the IPA that I use to judge all others against. It is my standard of an IPA. It's just always great. Let me go see if I've got anything fun in the fridge. When I first started working with my buddy Garth, I have one Cafe Inc. So in the event that you're ever like, hey, I want to try a beer, any Rheingeist that you see that's in a bottle like this is worth your time. I cannot stress that enough. These are, I don't know. They're very like a limited kind of run kind of thing. Yeah, it's a 12.5, 2021, aged 12 months. But this is barrel aged Cafe Inc. Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels with coffee. It fucks. And I mean, not only will it definitely will get you intoxicated, but I mean, they taste amazing. I think my favorite is probably Mastodon that they made, which is a dark ale. And then bourbon barrel aged Mastodon. We've gotten some before that was whiskey barrel, and then we've gotten some that's bourbon barrel. But oh no, Mushushu. That looks like it wouldn't hit my grocer. Oh yeah, no, I would think not. It would be probably at like some fancy beer place, like a place that only does beer, and they've got like a lot of like imports or like craft, like mainly craft. But that, I think we got that one actually at one of our liquor stores. But typically, we would pick those up whenever we go to Rheingeist's Brewery in Ohio, which I have got to say, one of the best beers I have ever had in my life was at Rheingeist. They had a beer called Peach Dodo, and they still make this. However, it is not the same as it used to be. They switched how they sour it. And it was, at one point in time, the single most sour beer I've ever had in my life. It would, like, it'll make you just like, holy, like, pucker up, like, instantly. Like, just bit into a lemon. Like, that kind of sour, just like, bam! Cincinnati. Yeah, it's Cincinnati. Good old Cincy. But it's in a old, I think, train station. Down in the, I want to say, like the area, like the brewers district, or the brewing district, but there's a whole bunch of breweries right in a small area, and like I don't know if that's downtown or not. I don't think it is. That's a sick lookout. Yeah, no, it's wonderful. Kelly and I often, like for our anniversaries or special kind of things, we've gone there quite a few years to just take it easy and just chill, go to a couple of different breweries, eat some foods, that kind of stuff. But they had a beer called Mushushu, and it was also a dark ale, but it was like very chocolatey. It was one of the wildest drinks I've ever had. But God, that thing was fire. But anyway, Peach Dodo. I had Peach Dodo. That is like one of the most sour beers I'd ever had. However, this one was at their like actual brewery, and they had it nitroed. A lot of alcohol tastes so nice, but I can't hold my drink at all. Yeah, no, I get that entirely. That is absolutely how this was. Like Nitro Peach Dodo, it's like the smoothness of a Guinness. Like it's so smooth. And oh no, and it also had lactose. It was like Peach Dodo with lactose, Nitro. It was just so good. Like I could drink that all day and be like, yeah, this is fine. And I mean, I think it's only like a 5%, if that. But nowadays, I'm sure I would have like a couple, and I would be like, okay, well, I gotta go home. I gotta go home. Someone take me home, please. Don't drink much. Yeah, there are, like, I think 3 beers that have been in my fridge for probably a year now. The one I just showed, and then 2 Guinness, which we're getting close to Guinness season, so maybe I'll have to drink them. I like a beer that drinks like a milkshake, which I realize most people are not a fan of that statement, but it's very true. My buddy Sean, who was in Fern Teeth with me, he, I think, still does quite a bit of brewing, like home brewing, and he made some very, very, very solid batches that, like, he made the recipe for them and everything. There's a Guinness season? Yeah, so Guinness season's typically like fall and winter for me. Mainly fall, though. And I realize that a lot of people don't abide by that, but, like, I cannot stress enough how quickly I think I would throw up if I drank Guinness outside during, like, summer in Kentucky. It would be like having a big old glass of chocolate milk in like 99% humidity and like 102-degree heat. Just hell on earth. Just like, hey, I got something you love. You want to try it now? Ah, I almost beat it. I almost drank the coffee in time. Ugh. 36 minutes on the Green 6 hours and 6 minutes on the Grebo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Back to the grief. I can see that. Yeah, I just don't drink outside. Yeah, that's a. I try not to go outside. I prefer things in the basement. I just want to be in the basement all the time. You know what I mean? My little fluffy kids, they love going outside to the point that if we go in the kitchen, we're going to hear about how much they need to go outside. Like, it's just going to happen. And they're very adamant. They've never been so serious about anything in their entire little fluffy lives. They're like, I have to go outside now or something bad is going to happen. That's it. And I'm just like, please don't do anything bad. They're like, I might. Take me out. Take me out. And then they go outside and they just like to sit. And just be outside. Let the breeze blow on all their fluffy little hairs. They're crazy. Crazy kids. Fluffing around. Margot's very skittish, so like whenever we're outside, if there's like any loud noises, she's just like, I'm out, and then she'll just go to the back door and just scream and scream and scream until we let her in, and then she's just like, thank you. And she's drinking all the coffee. I'm going to put a little bit more green stuff on here, and then I think I'm going to go pee. But I'm going to fill in this spot first. Aha. Over there needs some attention. Just kind of putting it up on here and pushing it down in between these crevices. Oh no! Wow, okay. It's fine. It acted like it was going to be real dramatic for a second, and I thought, well, this is it, Eli. You donked up. Donked up for real. We donked up for reals. A little regular show, or no, sorry, Adventure Time for you there. I am so sorry. Alrighty. That is the area that I'm trying to put a bunch of green into. Let me put a little green down in there so I can make this piece of wood and this bone look like they're together forever. Do you all know the band The Front Bottoms? I'm a fan of them. Mainly their old stuff, but the newest stuff is also good. There's an album or two, but I'm like, eh. But Talon of the Hawk, hot damn. Talon of the Hawk is a very good album. And so is the self-titled. Those two are my absolute favorites by them. So, during the Devil and God Are Raging Inside of Me anniversary tour, we saw them and Brand New and Modern Baseball. That was a sick show, sick lineup. Yeah, need a little bit more in there. Hey, yo, this morning, Ian. Good morning. What's shaking, chat? Welcome, 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 JJ. Good to have you, good to have you. Chat is hopping. Discussing musics. And I don't remember what we were talking about before that. I might have gotten us really distracted. We're talking about beer. Me and my boots. Since I got free tickets to the gun show this morning. Oh yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Free tickets to the gun show, baby. It's hot in my basement. I prefer wearing sleeveless shirts in my house all the time. I also prefer being in the basement all the time. So it works out. Tickets to the gun show. I give them out for free almost every day. Alrighty. We were chatting at club about music because one of the members went to the PUP Rosenstock concert in Chicago and brought back the weed flag. EOB, Lycan Rosenstock, the front bottoms. Hell yeah. Topics today have been Eli's music video, the documentary Room of the Dark, music, beer. Yes, same here. I hate sleeves. Oh yeah, no sleeves. So need to give them a listen to see. Oh yeah, AOB. AOB? I like that. Rosenstock. I like that. Also, yeah, and brought back the weed flag. I can't stress enough that alone lets me think that, yeah, they're probably like the front bottoms. If you are like, hey, what front bottom song would you recommend? Backflip. Jeff Rosenstock. Okay. Chill. YouTube. It's the name of a band, please. It's the name of a band, please. Yeah. The front bottom song, Backflip, specifically also the music video, is so good. But that would be that. Either that or I really like Swimming Pool. Twin Size Mattress is the one that typically I like bomb the music industry more than Jeff Rosen. I've not heard them either. I'll have to check both of those people out. Most people know the front bottoms from the song Twin Size Mattress, which is an amazing song. And I think that song, it's like, okay, if you want to know what this band's about, like that is the song to listen to. I think it sums up everything about that band very well. And I think that they were at their best when it was a two-piece, and then sometimes accompanied by a bass. But the amount, I can't stress enough, the amount of times, like whenever Sean and I would play somewhere and people would be like, oh man, yeah, you guys remind me of so-and-so. And it's just like, we don't sound anything like them. They are just also a two-piece, like Pinback. Pinback, we got a lot. And with the last show that I think we played, someone was like, man, you guys are great. Man, fuck Pinback. And we were just like, dude, we like Pinback. Like, no need to get hostile about it. We're like, no, they're good. L1011 is another fucking sick two-piece. I would really recommend them. They are almost entirely instrumental, but some tracks do have some vocal elements, but they are so rad. It's two-piece, but the guitarist also, he plays a double neck that has, I love Front Butt Jimmy. I would kill for Front Butt Jimmy. That's great. I like bomb music. Won't you say the naughty B word? Yeah, Possum was a mix set. Bomb. Made up a character for my kids when they were little. I called him Front Butt Jimmy because his butt was in the front. Genius dad. JJ, that's great. I love that. That's exciting. When I saw him play at a local fest, I think it was all new stuff. That's rad. No, yeah. Man, Front Butt Jimmy. I would kill. Punk kind of lost all core values here. The only punk band I've found locally are either really terrible people or generic pop punk. Yeah, man, I gotta say, I get that. Yeah. It's hard to find good bands that stay together long enough to not become something other than what they are. Which the front bottoms definitely. It's the more prominent thing is finding out, it's like, oh yeah, I really like this band, and then finding out, oh, they're monsters. That's a key thing that keeps happening. Does not make me value their music less, but it does make me not want to support them. I cannot say that enough. I've always had a very hard time associating the music and the art and the artist, no matter what media it is. It's very, and that's just because for the longest time my art has been utterly disconnected from myself. I have got to be I am so sorry. Thank you for coming back, Mowgli. I am now going to take a break and go pee. I will be right back. Oh my goodness, where's my mouse? There it is. Okay, I lost it again. There it is. Okay, I'll be right back. Oh shit, okay. I'm gonna do my best to not have this clip. I can't disassociate them. The allegations against the dead South Spaces came out. I straight noped out of listening to them. Even if my Spotify stream is only a fraction of a penny, can't condone shit. I get that. First time seeing the BRB screen, that's so adorable. Thank you, my friend Jessie did that. I'm hoping she is going to soon do the other drawing that I asked her for, which is Margot revving a chainsaw and yelling in the same kind of style. But yeah, I love that that screen. I think it counters everything that like I make very well. Very silly looking. Great two-piece from you are Sleaford mods. Seriously, give them a listen. I can't describe them, but they are so worth the research. Hell yeah, you won't regret it. Canceled my subscription a while ago. Found music, I just buy the CD and rip it. I get that. Mowgli the song indeed rips it. Hell yeah. Oh, that's okay. This is a banger. Thank you, thank you. I have it through my dad, who won't be canceling our fan plan. I get that. I get that as well. Another band that I was thinking of, that if you like punk, hot damn, you should check out Free Throw. They are from Nashville, and it is one of my regrets. I don't have many, but one of my regrets is not getting to play a show with them that we were set up to play with Fur and Teeth, because Sean and I did not check our emails, or I think maybe I even was just like, I don't feel like going out, blah blah blah. I don't remember the full situation, but I remember later on, after I was like, dude, Free Throw's so fucking good. Have you ever heard them? And he was like, yeah, we were supposed to play with them. And I was like, wait, what? But they have a album called Pallet Town that is so good. As far as disassociating music, yeah, no, I get that I am not in the majority of that. And there's really, it just depends. It depends how much I love something, whether or not I can utterly drop it or not. Biggest example being Brand New. Jesse Lacey has done monstrous things, and I don't condone them even for a second. However, the music that he made really helped me through a lot of really bad times in my life. So it's really hard for me to just not appreciate that for what it gave me, regardless of the things that he has done. And they are not even together anymore, so it's a, I'm not able to give them more money. I don't. But as far as how something that, impacted me heavily, finding out that someone did something, if it made a big difference to me in my life, it's hard for me to associate them, because I don't think of that album as like, oh, it's this guy's album. It's more of just like, it's an album that I really like, or an album that meant a lot to me. Specifically, Devil and God Are Raging Inside Me. That album is my favorite album. And it is a very complex album. But most people that I know absolutely wrote them off. And I'm not defending anything other than that album. I'll defend that album. The album is fucking amazing. But with a title like The Devil and God Are Raging Inside Me, it's also kind of, man, my little fluffy kids are getting crazy upstairs apparently. It's supposed to rain today, but doesn't look like it. Yeah, Free Throw. If you're looking for a real rad punk band, I have to Lavender, not Palette. Oh, is it called Wait. I feel like Secondhand is free game. Like related, I still have my hand-me-down Harry Potter DVDs, and gave my wife the first 5 books I wanted at elementary school raffle. Sail the high seas. Hell yeah. Lavender is not... Is that album called Lavender Town? I thought it was Pallet Town. Oh, or is that a Pokemon reference? I bet that's a Pokemon reference. Yeah, Pallet Town. Yeah, it's a Pokemon reference, I'm assuming. Lavender, not Palette. Yeah. No, the album's called Those Days Are Gone. Pallet Town is a song off of it. I think it might be the opening song. But yeah, I would really recommend checking out Free Throws album, Those Days Are Gone. So good. Tongue Tied is my favorite track off there. Um, and yeah, I really wish that I had gotten to play with them whenever it was pretty much just gonna happen. But I didn't feel like leaving my house. And that is the downside of being a hermit. One of them. Lavender's the spooky one. Just looks up like they're both Pokemon refs. Oh, hell yeah. And I would assume that Pallet Town is also, yeah, their reference is probably a reference to Pokemon. If not, then it's probably a reference to working somewhere where you unload pallets a lot. The track 2 Beers In is also really good. 2 beers in, you tell that it's one of those nights. 2 more guys. More that I drink, the more that I feel broken and alone. Yeah, we were going to play with Free Throw and Secret Stuff. I think Secret Stuff, which was a guy named Michael Full's band. They're the ones that I've referenced a couple times on here that had a song, My Life is a Steinbeck Novel. And Sean and I often sang that with different lyrics of, my life is a dime bag solo, and I'm learning not to care. And the thing about that, if you're not familiar with dime bag solos, they are just nothing but Floyd Rose just like dropping like 3 or 4 octaves, just very, very insane highs and lows. It's very funny. Little wittiness on our part. We're funny. I have a song called In Drag for Beers. I figured, hell yeah. For a punk band with some humor, All the Dead Milkmen are the pajama slave dancers from Massachusetts. Hell yeah. Lavender's the spooky one, Palette is Ashes Home. Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's a good crossover topic there. Comparing them to Milkmen means I have to check them out. So, those of you that like a Pokemon, if anyone, I'm assuming someone in here likes Pokemon, at what point are you like, I like all of these, and you're like, I think they should have stopped? For me, it's Silver. And I know that I am a heretic for saying that. It's just how I feel, man. But after that, I feel like there just were not very many that I was like, this adds something. It just seemed more of like, kind of like Gremlins 2. You guys like Gremlins 2? Is that your favorite movies? It's my favorite. Nah, I'm just kidding. Not one of my favorite movies. I honestly had not seen it until, I think, last year. But holy shit, Gremlins 2 is a wild movie. It's very clear that, and I cannot stress enough how much I love when like an artist or someone that makes something is like, yeah, I am in a contract and I have to make this for blank. So then they just throw money to the wind and make something just insane that is not what the people that are paying them and forcing them into a contract want at all. I love that. I find it very fun. And that is essentially what Gremlins 2 is it's just, they were like, hey, we want you to make another one. He was like, I don't want to, and you don't want me to. And they were like, here is all the monies. And he was like, all right, if that's what you want. I love it. Black and white, okay. It's all Nostalgia Dog. They're all ass, and they're all precious babies. Heart Gold is my favorite. Crystal, but they are for kids, in my little opinion, even if I do like them. Heart Gold was fucking sick. Fact. Heart Gold was so sick. Yeah. Heart Gold, Soul Silver. I was always a Soul Silver guy. Or just, silver. Back in my day. I enjoyed Silver a lot. And Soul Silver when it came out. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I would say, oh, they're good games or not. Like, just because they're very different. I don't know. I'm sure other people that are much more versed in JRPG games will be able to tell me, like, oh yeah, it's mainly this game, but with different monsters, which I'm pretty sure is similar to like dragon, whatever the thing is that you raise dragons, and it's a lot older. I don't fully remember. Dragon Quest, maybe? Is that a thing? Am I talking about something that's real? Am I making these games up? Dragon Quest is a game. I don't know if it's the one I'm thinking of. Where you get a bunch of eggs and you have to like raise the dragons and you fight things with them, which is kind of like Pokemon. Okay. My day was Diamond and Pearl. Dragon Quest is the one with Toriyama art. Okay. I got both silver and gold because I had eye surgery and my parents bought both for me. Hell yeah. Dragon Warrior Monster. Fox. Dragon Warrior Monster Fox. Dragon Warrior Monster Fox. I think that is the way that is supposed to be stated. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not as RPGs. I love RPGs, but there's definitely certain types that like I'm prone to playing. Like I started. I think a couple of you all were on the stream whenever I started playing the Final Fantasy VII remake, which is the first like RPG that I've played in a hot minute. And eventually, I kind of just fell out of playing that. No matter how great Cloud looks. Also, I cannot see Cloud as anyone other than, shit, what's her name? Pheromone, the drag queen. Big fan. Had a party of 3. You could steal from other turns. Oh, that's rad. It was Dragon Quest, but you raised the monsters. Okay, Dragon Quest. Gotcha. Dragon Quest. Sometimes you just gotta raise a bunch of monsters. I chose to raise 3 little fluffy ones in my house. Fur babies. Oh yes, is it safe to think Cloud is hot discussion? Yeah. How old's Cloud? Okay, I'll make a statement then. This is my statement on it. It's been a hot minute. I think I've covered that enough though. I know I did at the time. I never made it to the part that everyone was just like, oh man, you're gonna really like a part that's coming up then. I was like, oh man, I wonder what it is. I never got got that far though. I got distracted and started playing numerous other games in between then. I think Conscript. Conscript was part of that. I loved Conscript. It was really fun. And then I think Blasphemous 1 and 2 probably slunk in there. And then back to old Sekiro, which is going very good. It's going very good. Doing lots of one-armed wolf stuff, aka Sekiro. Sometimes it's just like, man, you gotta take a break and come back with new eyes. After you get some new eyes from some crazy Mogwai shop. I'm a big fan of the Mogwai shop from Gremlins. This is a respectable business. We do not sell Mogwai here, sir. All right, you want to buy a Mogwai or what? Obviously, I'm a big fan of the Mogwai shop. That's pretty much the entire basis for like the little studio area over there. So I was like, I want it to look like you just walked into a Mogwai shop. Pokemon has only been bad after the switch to full 3D, in my opinion. As someone who's not played Pokemon since Heart Gold. Oh man, yeah, probably. If you like PS exclusives, you need to play Alan Wake 1 and 2 and Control. In the order of Alan Wake, Control, Alan Wake 2, if I recall the release order. Oh, I didn't realize that Control and Alan Wake were related. But I do. I think I have Alan Wake from when it was like free for like PS Plus at some point. There is a piece of resin there. It needs to get off. Get out of there. There we go. Aha. Yeah, that looks good. I don't know why, but I always, when I think of Alan Wake, my brain's like, is this Alone in the Dark? And it's just like, nope. Don't know why. Oh, Max Payne's great. Yeah. Yeah, I played Max Payne on Xbox, I guess when it first came out. I'm trying to remember. There was for a while, when Sean and I lived together, he was playing through Max Payne, and we would just speak to each other in like very like noir-esque quotes. The train lit up like a Christmas tree. Without a weapon, I was gonna have to play hide and seek with so-and-so's men. But just like out of context. Yeah, Max Payne, man, I've not played that in many moons. Yeah, there we go. Alrighty, that looks good, that looks good. Looks good. Alrighty. Max Payne. I never played the second Max Payne. Or the third? I think, yeah, there were 3, right? Are there more than 3? And make a nice little awful mouth there. A nice little awful mouth. Let's go from this side. And yes, that was a little bit of Jurassic Park theme there. Sometimes it just comes out. I choose not to fight it. And by that I mean like OG Jurassic Park. Only 3. The third is made by Rockstar. Oh, okay, rad. Another game that I feel like a lot of people really like. I had like all the Uncharted's. I never finished even one of them though. It's just not my kind of game, I don't think. I really liked the new Tomb Raiders though, specifically the first reboot. Not as much as Kelly does. Kelly loves Tomb Raider. Oftentimes on the evening hobby hang, you can hear her in the background robbing tombs and stealing artifacts and shooting dudes that just happen to be there. She likes playing Tomb Raider. It belongs in a museum. Okay. Trying to make sure you guys can see what I'm working on. It's a little difficult though, because there's a lot of crazy stuff in the way of the model, while also on my desk. But haha, got it. And we want to smooth that out. Poke, poke, poke. Yeah. Acetone melts super glue. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. I'm back. I super glued my hands and my thighs. Oh no. Oh shit, you. Love Naughty Dog. The rest of the... Oh, The Last of Us is amazing. Yeah, I like one more than the other. I haven't finished the second one, but I love the first one. It's so good. The first season was also sick. Yes, haven't watched the second one yet either. Likewise, back in the old setup, you could even see the screen. Back in the old setup. I don't understand that, boss. Oh, you mean this screen? Or, huh? I got acetone on me, so I'm all right. That's still not super good. Yeah, it's awesome. Today I also learned that. Huh. That's key information. How did I not know that? I've got a bunch of stuff in an acetone bath right now. But none of it has super glue on it. At least I hope it doesn't. Let's see. A little bit right there. Man, we are so close. The old hobby setup, you could see Tomb Raider being played in the background. Oh, yeah. Yeah, huh. I forgot, yeah. Back before my cabinets were here. Before the cabinets were here, you could see the TV and the couch behind. You could make out Kelly's head on the couch as she blasted dudes playing the old Tomb Raider. Yeah, I remember that. That has been a hot minute. Yeah, because man, when did I guess March? Around March is when the cabinets, I think, became part of the setup. If not March, April? Hard to say. Man, it's been a hot minute, huh? I'm sorry about the lack of overall finished progress I have got done. You knew the apology was coming. But we were very, very, very close to the end. And all the other stuff that I did, I assure you, was not a waste of time. It was to make sure that once I'm done with this and interest is, built, I have a bunch of other projects that I can just leap into, because doing things like almost like assembly line style really is beneficial for things that are on that level of like how much time and stuff you have to spend. Being able to be like, yep, all these things are at this level, all these things are at that level. Things. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, shut your face. March is AdCon. Yeah. That's also melt. Yeah, also it will melt plastic. Doing better than me, I feel. Oh, no. Everyone's doing the best they can. Oh, shut your face. Okay, possum. Face is shut. Dun 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 dun. I don't know why, but Terminator 2 is always just kind of right on the edge of my thoughts. I mean, I do know why. It's Terminator 2. It's pretty intense. I want to make sure that these holes have a little bit of a back behind them. What the heck did I just cover up then, if that's not where it is? Right? No? Maybe? Who's to say? Nope, that's definitely a hole. Where does that go? I guess right there. It just comes out right there. Your worth is not dedicated by your output. Say it with me, kids. Your worth is not dedicated by your output, comrade. Exactly. No, you're right. You're right. Thank you, Possum. That I looked into where all my patches and stuff are that I need to put on. I've not worn my vest in a hot minute because it's very hot. But I saw the little button that I got that says, you're worth more. I'm trying to remember what the exact words are. But it was essentially the quote that the Possum said to me. And I was like, you're right. And that made me feel better. I get very much in my head about that kind of stuff. I don't want to seem like I'm not finishing anything. It's just things take time when you're trying to do them in a very specific way. And I'm always afraid people are going to be like, man, yeah, just it seems like you never get anything done. It's just like, I've got so many things I want to do. I'm just trying to do them in the best order. But, man, I really was thinking that we'd be able to get this guy finished today. What a fool I was. Not entirely a fool. But Every day gets us a little bit closer. It's just, I don't want to cut corners at all. One more little piece in there. Doing pretty good on using up all the green stuff for today, though. That's positives. We are going to need to put a little bit more Nivea on here. Hey, Possum, I need to hear that. By being the only repeat, I am at least 3 children in trench coat. I'm sure everyone here wouldn't care if you didn't finish Grief in the next 5 months. I've been staring at these random minis for minutes trying to decide how to sort. Maybe I just need to go give Condo Spark Joy this shit. What kind of minis, Ross? Oh, right. What is Grief for useful? Anyway, so Grief is going to be for a event, I'm pretty sure, for the most part. But it's given that it's just part of my demons, it has a home in a lot of different things, but pretty much narrative gaming. There's a lot of different ways it could be used, but it'll definitely be, I fully expect it to be like the big problem for the next Visterian event that everyone has to try and deal with, is this thing manifesting and probably bringing all manner of horrible Gribblies with him into reality in another attempt to get the child inverted to be born into real space, or at least become fully realized along those lines. So I would say, yeah, it's probably going to be for an event. Now, when that event will be, I do not know, but it is also kind of a commission. Someone, after I said that I was wanting to sell it, has already been like, we want to buy that. And they are definitely going to be heavily involved with the Visterian event planning. Yeah, I'm thinking once we start painting it will go a lot quicker, but that's looking good. Just pretty much trying to blend all this little bit of green stuff into that wood. That's looking good. I think that looks good too. Need a little bit of green right there. All right, what is Grief for use? Some I got from Ex Obscurus at AdCon. At the bit swap, he brought a tub of loose sprue and some randoms that he went, how about it, folks? I brought my bits in with me, so a lot of that went in there. Hell yeah. I think I remember that. I think I distinctly remember him putting it on there and being like, have at it. Big old tote full of bits. Gonna need more Nivea. Nivea. Nivea, Nivea. Grief, you cut it out. I had it up to here with you. And me and my witch wizard fit going goblin, just goblin mode. I get it. I get it. Sometimes you just gotta turn into a goblin. I live as a goblin. Every day I be gobbling. Is my hair just like right in the way? No. Okay. Trying to see where else do we need A little bit right there. This guy's almost done. This thing is almost good. It got into my hand and it went bad. So I lopped it off at the wrist. Anybody have any ideas for movies I should watch Halloween related? Spoopy movies. The amount of little nails that I've gotten called on. These are the whole models that I'm uncertain of where to sort. Oh yeah, no. So that's the problem that I have often. Is it's just like, oh okay, I've got, you know, lots of parts, and it's just like, okay, well that entire little tackle box thing is full. So I guess it's time to make a new one. It's just like, well, do I sort them by like what they went to, or do I sort them by like what they are? In some kits, it's just like it's harder to differentiate what's going to be like accessories, what's going to be, yep, I use this to build a whole model. So that can definitely be hard to figure out, at least for me, for sure. Poke, pull that down. We don't want that to be flush. Where the hell was I looking at? Oh, right here. This thing. All along that tendril, we want to create a little dip so it doesn't look like it's part of it, it looks like it's on top of it. And putting the hobby knife in there at an angle and pushing down and pulling to the side can help us achieve that look. So it looks like it's laying over. We watched The Void. Oh yeah, I should watch The Void. Cursed. Okay. Housemaid. I've not seen Housemaid. Him. So I've not seen The Witch. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I loved The Witch until the last like 30 seconds. That movie was so good for me. Like, man, I loved The Witch. And in the last 30 seconds, just really, I was like, man, I wish you had just stopped with her walking into the woods. While I love spooky season, I'm not a spooky movie person. Really, Ross? The Void, I need to watch The Void again. That movie is awesome. I've not seen Housemaid, and The Cursed, I believe I have seen. That's the one about werewolves, right? Maybe? Werewolves or like the Thorn kind of stuff. Him. I've not seen him. That's in theaters right now. I saw it got pretty mixed reviews currently, but I would be down to see it. I liked, is it Don't Look Up? I think that's the last Jordan Peele movie that I saw. I did not care for Us at all. I did not like Us. I liked Get Out. This is looking good. That needs to be blended. So knock that out. Werewolf things. Werewolf things, yes. Yes, yes, yes. We watched, Sam had never seen American Werewolf in London. And we had not watched it until last year. And I think the very first time that we watched it, once it got to the transformation scene, I think Kelly and I both looked at each other and we're just like, well, holy shit, we're gonna watch this every year. Nope. Okay, that's what I was thinking of. Not Don't Look Up. Don't Look Up's a completely different movie. And I have not seen it. It's just been on our list for a long time, I think. And it shall remain. Nope. That's what it was. I enjoyed Nope. Love a good Stephen Yeun every now and then. I really liked him in The Walking Dead, but I eventually just kind of... Well, also, I mean, pretty much, I think I've talked about that, but the moment that I found out that, my favorite characters die in the comic, I was like, well, I'm out. And then shortly after, I think that's kind of where they got into the show. But, yeah, comic number 100, That is when I stopped reading Walking Dead. I was like, oh, one comic. You killed both my two favorite characters. I have no reason to read this now. I don't give a shit about anyone else involved in this story. I did not care for Rick. In the show, I thought Shane was a great character. Very good. Not antagonist. I don't know what. Oh, I love the Lighthouse. What's his name? Abraham? Rick is a giant turd. Yeah, Abraham. Abraham and Glenn. Same comic. Both of them are gone. I'm just like, man, fuck me. I think I'm done. Lighthouse is not. Yeah, it's. I recently watched a movie called Without Warning, 1994. It's such a great horror movie, but it's weird. Oh yeah, no, The Lighthouse is definitely a weird one. Man, I love that movie. I have not heard of Without Warning. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, we typically we often for like spoopy season, because Kelly and I just love horror. Spoopy season or spooky season, if you will, we typically watch like campy horror movies, or things that are more spooky vibes, not just true horror. Like Hereditary is not on the spooky list, but that's also just a movie that I like to watch a couple times a year. It's just a really gnarly movie. Very, very good occult horror. Oh, hey, Rosemary's Baby is probably one that we should watch. That's a classic, yeah, and classics. Classic horror movies, campy, 80s. Um, those are typically what we watch around Halloween. Things like Beetlejuice. Talk to Me just kind of popped up because it was like, oh, it's getting ready to leave, whatever, and we should watch it because we've talked about watching it. And it was right there, and I was like, let's just do this. Click. I love slasher films. Brothers is good. I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think I'd horror. I enjoy slashers. They are not like. I'm not a. I don't. Fuck me. I was about to say I don't know if I've ever seen a slasher that I'm like that's a good horror movie, but Scream. I'm very firm that Scream is the best, like, true horror slasher movie. That movie is so good. The first one, hot damn. Typically, I'm not. Slashers have just a very specific type of story that I can only get so invested in, and I don't find it truly horrifying. Scream is really good, though. I think all the way through. And it's a very, also it's just like a very modernized take on the genre. When I say modernized, I mean movies that came out in the 80s and stuff. I think we watched Terrifier 1 and 2. 1 was all right. 2 I did enjoy better, but I'm not a. Ironically, you would think that I'd be a buckets of blood guy. I'm really not. Like, that's not got really an impact on why I enjoy horror. Now, my favorite movie is The Thing, so it's just like it doesn't bother me. But man, practical effects and good storytelling are what I think really, really sells that one. It's like that's my favorite movie, and then after that, it's Alien, which I still think. I don't know if I've ever seen a movie that I think the practical effects were as impressive as the ones that they made for Alien. And I mean almost specifically the facehugger. The facehugger model that they used is one of the craziest models I've ever seen. It looks like a real thing that when they pulled out of the ocean. It's so good. And that's what happens when you have old Giger working on stuff. You get this poopy. You're gonna get the spoopy, trust me. Hi, welcome to Margot's Spoopy Emporium. Didn't mean to scare you. And she jumps out. Oh shit, dog, we were talking about it way back. Those I Am Legend adaptations that aren't Will, Last Men on Earth, Vincent Price, and the Omega Man. I have not seen that. I've not seen either of those. Thing equals some of the best practical effects in a flick. Oh yeah, yeah. The Thing. I mean, it's my favorite movie, but yeah, they are so good. They have a different. They hit differently, entirely different than the ones in Alien, because it's almost exclusively body horror in The Thing, which is so. They body horror it's really probably some of the best practical effects in body horror ever done. Love, Death, Robots has an amazing episode about a demon. I love Death and Robots. Oh man, I watched The Thing a little while ago with a friend. Really opened my eyes to how good body horror can be. It's so good. I thought Interview with the Devil would have been good, but I did not like it. I wanted to. Interview with the Devil. Huh. I don't know if I've seen that one. Is that the one about the guy that goes to a prison or an insane asylum and he's like interviewing this dude that's like saying that he's possessed? Or is that a different one? And they're just like, no, he's not possessed. He's just, a crazy person and a murderer. And it's kind of is he, isn't he? Smile and Smile 2 are also very good horror movies. Specifically Smile. There is a scene in Smile that gets me every time. It's just like, ooh, the goosebumps. I love it. It's the car scene. First time you watch it, I feel like you know what I'm talking about. You're like, oh God. It's like the Tonight Show interview with the Possessor. Oh, that's wild. There's that interview with the Vampire series. I saw that last night. I was like, oh hey, Interview with the Vampire. We should watch that. And I was like, wait a minute, this is not what I thought it was. This is a show. What the hell? When did this happen? Oh yeah, no, I love Weapons. Weapons is probably my favorite horror movie of last year. Close second being Bring Her Back. I need to watch Bring Her Back again, but Weapons, upon subsequent watches, is even better. Really, really enjoy that movie. It's rare when I find, oh, hey, I thought of one. It's rare when I find a cult movie that I'm like, yep, they did it right. They did it right. Hereditary, Weapons, Bring Her Back. There's been a uptick in very solid occult horror in the past couple of years, and I'm a big fan. I think honestly, Hereditary probably did a lot for that. Didn't see anyone talking about the color in the movie. Oh, so Skinamarink. I've been told to watch Skinamarink. I heard Weapons was the new shit. Weapons is great. I'll watch it tonight. I thought it was going to be scarier. Skinamarink. From my I love Midsommar too. So yeah, pretty much anything Ari Aster makes, I'm going to see. I love Ari Aster's work. He is a master of horror. One of the current times. I don't know any other current horror filmmaker, with the exception of maybe Zach from The Whitest Kid You Know with Barbarian and Weapons. I think he's the only one that can really give Ari Aster a run for his money on making good horror. I've never seen Children of the Corn, which I know is crazy, but I probably should watch that at some point in time. I think Kelly has seen it, and she has just been like, I don't know if it's worth us watching. But it's definitely... I watched Child's Play for the first time the other day. I can't stress enough how much everyone has told me that it's not worth watching as an adult because it's not going to be as scary. And having seen The Bride of Chucky, and I think that's it. I think that's the only one I'd seen was The Bride of Chucky. and it was fine. I did not expect the actual original Child's Play to be as good of a movie as it was. Um, and I'm not saying, oh man, it's great. I expected it to be way not good, but it actually is still a good spoopy movie. And I could see how, as a kid, that would have really fucked a lot of people up, and parents. Shit, what was I saying? Yeah, Skinamarink. This Halloween. Yeah, so one thing that, yeah, there's so many like classic horror movies that I had not seen for so long. But I actually got to see Halloween at it's the State Theater, which is an old movie theater in our town that they like finally like brought back into service. But it's like old school theater, and I got to see it in black and white there. And that was the very first time I ever saw Halloween. So I I do not love the Halloween movies, but I appreciate what Halloween did for the genre immensely, because it did completely change a lot of things. Also, Jaws. I think we were talking the other day. Jaws is, I think, the first horror movie I ever saw, and I easily forget it because I watched it very, very, very young, and I often forget that it's a horror movie, and it's rated PG. It's rated PG. That's nuts. But yeah, I think Jaws was the very first horror movie I ever saw. Um, and if anything, it didn't do anything to scare me out of the water, because I love the ocean. And Child's Play scared me. That's the thing. So many people were so afraid of Child's Play. I took me to see Indiana Jones in theaters as a kid. I was 11. It was sold out. He took me to Children of the Corn. What the fuck? Yeah, that's nuts, JJ. Holy shit. What a wild choice. And Child's Play scared me so much as a kid, I didn't go onto the trampoline at night. I thought he would get me under it. Yeah, that's a very valid. I can see why you would be afraid of that. That seems like a valid fear to have after watching that. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to finish Grief today. There's a lot of things that still need to be filled in, but we did make a lot of progress. Got these little bones down here sculpted. This little spinal area. Got that sculpted in. The ribs up in here. That's looking good. All these parts that are like kind of merged together in grafting. Got those. The little mouths. We're definitely making a lot of progress. I would say tomorrow. I don't want to say it because that seems like I keep saying it over and over. But I do think tomorrow we realistically could expect to be done sculpting, which means moving on to priming and painting. I'm so excited to paint Grief. T. Oh, you couldn't see I was rubbing his little cheeks. T. Still can't see it. T. Rubbing his little nails. Jaws did irreversible damage to the shark reputation. Oh, absolutely. I do not go in any water. F that jazz. Tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. Only a day away. Tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. It's only a day away. He. I don't even shower. Piranha scared me more than Jaws. I've never seen Piranha. Jaws, I don't know. I always love the ocean. And I'm very aware. I watch a lot of stuff about the ocean. I'm very aware of how many scary things are in the ocean. I will say, the thing that scared me the most that lives in the ocean, the only time that I was like, oh my God, I hate that. I don't like that at all. And it definitely scarred me as a kid, is, and I love them now. I absolutely love them. Mantis shrimp. In one of the Godzilla movies, they are going through a submarine that was destroyed by Godzilla, or maybe it's a ship, a giant ship. And they're going through and there's some corpse. And inside the corpse is a mantis shrimp. And when it comes out of the dude, it is so horrifying. And that is burnt into my brain. And that scared the fuck out of me as a kid. And I had no idea what it was. I was like, what even was that thing? And then years later, I found out, oh, it's a mantis shrimp. I love mantis shrimp. Oh, hell yeah, JJ. Man, I love mantis shrimps. They're so cool. They're so fun. They can see in all the colors, all the lights, all the sounds. They can see all the sounds. Um, and that's not even a joke. I do think, I don't know if they can see sound. They can see damn near everything else. Like I know they can see, I think, infrared and UV. Like the amount of light, I think I don't want to say incorrect information, but I'm pretty certain they have the most powerful, like, eyes of any animal on the planet. Like, they can see in a spectrum that is so far past what we consider like normal vision. Um, I don't know. I love mantis shrimp. They're so cool. They also have the fastest punch in the entire world. They can punch right through the side of your aquarium. Like, if you're crazy enough to keep one as a pet, you got to watch out that you don't piss them off and they just punch through their aquarium and decide to live on land now. Such cool, weird little animals. I also just love shrimp. I think we all know that. Love shrimp. Used to have a million shrimp in my house, but then I'm pretty sure pretty much all the little fishies ate their babies. And they don't naturally live very long. So if they don't reproduce like crazy, like they always do, then you don't have any shrimp anymore. I think they can smell fear. I wouldn't be surprised. They can see colors we can't imagine. Yeah, real cool alien and Dan to Dan based on them. Yeah, I'm sure. Like the amount of things that like just mantis shrimp have probably inspired by just existing. They're so weird. They're such weird animals. I love them. But yeah, that scared the fuck out of me as a kid. In that Godzilla movie, I did not see that thing coming. I didn't understand what it was. I was just like, what the heck? I didn't think I was going to get scared. I love Godzilla. It wasn't even Godzilla. It was some weird thing that came out of a dead guy. Very alien-esque, but like so real because it was real. It was just a real mantis shrimp just hiding in this dummy. But man, that messed me up as a kid. They're such weird animals. Beautiful and weird. I have got to pee, so I'm probably going to stop here. Where's Godzuki? Yeah, where's that Godzuki at? Man, I love Godzilla. He is the king, the OG. King of the monsters. Grief's like, I ain't never heard of him. Only one king around here, King Piss. So yeah, I think I had a great time. No, I did too. Thank you guys so much. I love having everybody in here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Roz. Thank you, Mowgli. Thank you, Possum. Thank you, Gardner. Let's see, who else is in here? Roz, Mowgli, Possum, Gardner. I know Fune's in here. I know JJ's in here. Fune, Roz. Basic Brush, I believe, popped in. Also, Martin Gorsling popped in. Thank you. Let's see. I think I got everybody. It's hard to remember all the names, but I think I got them all. JJ, Roz, Possum, Fune, Mowgli, Basic Brush, Gardner. Yeah. I think that's everybody. If I left anyone out, I am so sorry. Okay, Gardner, yes. All right. Thank you guys so much. I say it every time. I'll say it again. Your time is the most valuable asset that you have, resource, commodity, however you prefer to look at it. And the fact you want to spend it with me means the world to me. Be good to yourselves and to each other. If you want to support me, you can check out the Fourth Wall link. I think that's it. Until then, sit pretty. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, friends. Take care.